Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I am really excited to finally talk about Queen of Shadows. I'm so sorry we had to keep rescheduling and postponing, but I think it's was a blessing in disguise because there were a lot of people that wanted to catch up and weren't able to finish it in time last weekend. So hopefully that extra week helped. Plus, I personally needed to move stuff around when we got to Kingdom of Ash. So it's this kind of helps with that, So it's it's fine. We'll, we get some extra time to read the book. We're here now. We're ready to discuss. So welcome, everyone. We are discussing Queen of Shadows tonight. I'm so excited. This is my favorite one in the series, if you didn't know. So it was really, really fun to reread this one. A couple things about the read along if you're new, I guess. All of the information is down below, the dates and stuff for when we're reading which specific book. It should all be linked down below. And we also have a Discord, so if you want to join the Discord so we can discuss as we read versus just discussing when we get to the live show portion, you can join that Discord. I have it linked down below, but sometimes the link doesn't work. So, if it doesn't work, just message me or let me know and I'll post it again. I'll post it in my Instagram stories or in my community feed on YouTube. So anyways, I think it's very clear though that I gave this a glowing 5 stars, but Christina, I'm sure everyone is dying to know what your thoughts on the book were. So go ahead and introduce yourself and give your thoughts.
Okay, hi, I'm Christina from Christina's Chapters. I loved this book. I gave it a whopping 5 out of 5 freaking stars. If I could give this book more than 5 stars, I would.
Yay, that makes me so happy.
And little shocker, I don't know if this is actually going to surprise anyone. It's my favorite so far. It's my favorite so far, and I'm so upset. So a lot of things happened the last 2 weeks. Just everything was kind of crazy. I fell into a little mini slump. Life was insane. And I didn't actually get to read along the way I've been doing with all the other books. I had to listen to the audiobook, but this is still pretty tabbed, even though I didn't. And I really wish, I can't wait to reread these series because I cannot wait to go back and actually annotate the heck out of this book. There's still missing annotations. I literally screenshotted the audiobook in certain parts that I knew I wanted to annotate. I have to go back and still do that, but
I love that.
It was precious. But I feel I don't know. I feel because I read it in such a long span of time. I feel I forgot little details. So
don't worry, I've got 8 pages of notes here, so I'll refresh your memory. I tabbed even more than I've read. This is what I was, excuse me. I'm getting so excited. This was my 5th time reading this book. And so I had already tabbed and annotated in it before, but I added new tabs, not just my new color system ones, but new ones that I'm why didn't I tab that before? So I'm oh, well, let me just add that real quick here. So I added even more tabs. I don't know if you can tell because of my lighting, but it's so many. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Love it.
All right. Well, let us know in the comments section here in the chat, the live chat, what you rated it. If you read it, hopefully you read it because we're going to be talking massive spoilers for this book. We're going to go over every minute detail. I'm so excited. Hello. I know. I'm so excited. Been going through withdrawals from not being able to watch you two. Aw. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Rachel.
That's so weird. We said the same thing at the same time to the same person.
I know. All right, let's go through. Let's just start at the beginning. Let me just find my notes here.
Oh my god, I have so many annotations in the beginning. Literally, within the first couple of pages, this was my most annotated book ever. So I cannot wait to reread this because literally just within the first, not even 50 pages, there's a million annotations in here.
I love it. 5 stars, 5 stars. Gave it 5 stars the first time. I already know it'll be 5 stars when I reread it. Yes, that is the correct rating. Anything less and I'll start to question.
Yeah.
We should be friends. Just kidding. Okay, so So the story starts out with Aelin being back in Rifthold and away from Rowan. So tragic. I think, see, it's been a while. It's been a while. It's been like a week since I finished.
I know.
It. But like, I'm like, how does it start again?
Right?
So much happens in this one.
So much happens. It's
so
up.
We start with Aelin like going to the vaults or the pits or whatever they're called. That like weird bar / fight club thing. And
yes.
There's the meeting with Aravin, which again, like, if you didn't read Assassin's Blade, at this point, I feel like most people have read it in the series. If they didn't read it first, they read it usually before Heir of Fire. But some people are just like, I don't need to read it. It's just novella, so there's nothing important there. And it's like, anyways. So yeah, you meet Aravin, and my note for it, this says, meeting with stupid Aravin. Vom. So much. And then, of course, Chaol is the one meeting with Aravin. So Aelin and Chaol reunite. And Chaol, literally, again, my note here is Chaol being a little bitch. So I was waiting so long in this series for Christina to get on the hating Chaol train. And go ahead, Christina. I think it's finally happened. Because page 48 is what I have marked as like the...
Oh no, did we lose Hannah? Oh, I think we lost Hannah. Oh man, Hannah's frozen. Well, I can probably try to continue. There she is.
Okay. Yeah, my internet does that. It's super fun. Keep us on our toes.
It does that every last show.
Every single time I cut out. So if that happens, just carry on without me. Yes. But yeah, every single note I have on this page is Chaol is such a little bitch. He's literally so annoying with an angry face. And then, he's so annoying. I hate him. all on the same page.
Literally all within the first little thing. Okay, all on the same page. 1, empty-handed. What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh what about my god!
You selfish prick. Ugh.
Yeah, so
I was going off on him. Okay, I was like, blame her. What about you? You are the blame for everything, you fucker. And then I was like, fuck Chaol.
I love it so much. Yeah, so if you don't remember this conversation, Chaol and Aelin like reunite, and Chaol is literally just like a whiny little baby the whole time. He just is like so butthurt. And he is talking like, you know, this is your fault, like blaming her for everything and saying, you came back, but without an army, without allies. You came back empty-handed. And she's like, I don't know what you expected. You're the one that sent me away. If you wanted me to bring back an army, you should have said so. And he like blames her for everything that happened to him and Dorian and Sorsha, because obviously Dorian at the very beginning of this book, the first chapter is Dorian. It's like his point of view, but him like being basically possessed by the dog demon. Yeah. So super sad, but obviously Chaol is like all about Dorian and is like blaming everything on Aelin. And I think, is it this part? Maybe it's later, because he's just like a bitch throughout the whole book. Oh, here it is. He calls her a monster.
Yeah.
Who is to stop the monsters from coming out again? Who is to stop you? And I literally just listen again, the same thing. I'm like, asshole, Chaol is such a fucking hypocrite.
He's so annoying.
He really is. Hopefully Cammie's not watching this right now.
So roast us both.
Rachel's ready for the roast. He is, though. He literally is. He's so annoying. I can't stand him in this book, especially. Like, just get over yourself already. We also get reintroduced to Lysandra and her ward, Evangeline. So
I love this part.
We know like the backstory of Lysandra and like Aelin when she was Selena and how much they just did not get along. And Lysandra is actually like nice. Like I remember the first time reading this, her coming back in, and I was like, ugh, this bitch. And then by the end of the book, I'm like, I think I'm in love with her.
Yeah, literally, she's one of my favorite characters now.
Yeah.
I freaking loved her. When we got reintroduced to her, I'm like, why? Why is she back? Why is she here? What is going on? Like, I thought this drama was over.
It's
and
the
then
character development.
Come to find out, she's actually a good guy. So
yeah, and she brings the letter from Wesley, and it details everything about Sam's death and like his torture and stuff, and how Aravin was behind it, and like the specific like torture things that Aravin requested be done to him. This just makes you hate Aravin even more.
Yeah, I thought I couldn't hate him more, and you know,
honestly, he's so freaking awful. He's so terrible.
He's freaking terrible.
Yeah, he's the worst. Really good villain though. Like he's so easy to hate. Like you just root for like him to his downfall the whole time. As soon as he steps on the page, you're like, well, don't like you.
Yeah, he literally steps on the page, and I'm just like anger.
Yeah, anger. Everything about him is horrible. We get Manon's point of view again, and we meet a lead.
Oh my god!
I love a lead.
I love her. Love her.
Which we also get that connection of Marion, Lady Marion, who was the one who saved Aelin when she was like 8 years old and her family was getting killed, and like helped her escape. And that was Aelid's mother. And then we also get like the reveal pretty quickly on in the book that Aelid has witch blood, which like throws you kind of for a loop, because like she's not actually a witch, but like, you know what I mean? Like she doesn't have like blue blood or anything, but Manon instantly is like, she has a witch blood in her. So she's like, that's weird. Oh, I'm moving along quickly here because I just have so much to get through. So okay. One of my favorite parts of the series, like as a whole, is Aedion's rescue.
Yes. I
freaking love it. It's like very much like
I teared up during his rescue. I was like, oh my god, because it's reunited. I started screaming. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. The whole time, like the whole like first 140 pages, anytime we get Aedion's point of view, it's basically him like trying to die. Like he has like a wound or something that's infected, and he's like, hopefully I'll die before they get the satisfaction of like executing me. And he like prays to the gods that like one last time he can see Aelin, and you're just like, oh,
you just miss him. Like, oh my god, I remember reading his chapters and just being like, my heart is being ripped out of my chest. I'm like, if he dies, oh my god, wait, I think I actually annotated it. I'm like, if he dies, we're gonna have issues. Where the heck is it? Oh, there's so many annotations.
I know, it's hard. That's why I like had to take notes, because it's hard to like just flip through every annotation, because we'd be here for 3 hours. But yeah, the whole scene with Aedion's rescue, like the whole plan that's laid out with Aelin like being disguised as like a ballet dancer, and the whole dance being choreographed specifically so that like they can drop these glass roses and like smoke goes up.
It was so well thought out.
It's so well thought out. And like her switching to being a noble from being this dancer, and then like Aedion's just watching it all play out. He's like, what's that girl doing? And he doesn't even know yet because she's not close enough. And then of course finally he's like thinks he's hallucinating because she finally saves him. There's a part where right when they go to shatter the roses, it says, behind them across the hall, the dancers shattered their roses on the floor, and Aedion grinned at his queen as the entire world went to hell. I love that quote so much. Like, I can just picture them.
I love it.
Because he's like such a big brother figure.
Yeah, I have it annotated too.
Yeah, I love that. And then, of course, like, it's just so satisfying that they finally get reunited after being apart for so long.
It was just like so, I don't know, like good medicine to the heart. Like, my heart needed that after being like, I swear to God, if Aedion dies, I was going to fucking cry. I was like, I swear to God, if he dies, I'm going to stop reading this book.
It really seemed too like, I mean, he was like ill because of all the infection from his wound or whatever, and he was trapped in the dungeon, and
he just wanted to die.
Yeah. So it was like pretty bleak. And then of course Aelin's like, not on my watch.
Not today. She said, not today.
There's also the part then with Aedion's rescue where Dorian like tries to stop them, and Aelin even says like, I gave him a minute of my time. Like, do you have any idea what could have happened in that minute? And it's just cool because like there's that part with the whole like where she's like getting him out, like unlocks his things, then the clock strikes, and like then she does this, and then there's another strike, and it's just like so much happens, and you're just thinking of like the tolling of this clock. So like to give him a minute of her time, like it actually makes sense that that's like a lot of time. And then of course Dorian is like taken over, and he can't really say anything to be like, I'm still in here, and Aelin is like just about to kill him to like put him out of his misery basically. And then Nesrin fires that arrow because she's like, no, you can't do that because then Kale will be pissed. And then eventually, I don't know if it's right after that, but we get back into Dorian's point of view, and he's like, I hate her for not killing me. And he also like doesn't even remember names too. He's just like golden haired or whatever he calls her, like that woman. Like he doesn't even call her by her name.
No, and that was like on probably almost everybody that he actually remembered. I think that sometimes he would like actually like he would know that he knows the person some shape, way, or form, but like he wouldn't say the name. He wouldn't call her name.
Like he'd bring up the fact of like Sorsha and like her getting beheaded, but he wouldn't say Sorsha. Yeah. Like he'd say like the lovely healer or something like that. And then of course there's the argument with Aelin and Chaol, because Chaol's all mad that she even attempted to like try to kill Dorian. Yeah, he's such a baby.
He's so annoying. He was annoying for half of this book. He really was. He was legitimately annoying.
Yeah,
he sucks. Chaol, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing, Chaol? Like, I don't understand what are you doing? I can't fathom. Like, I still can't freaking put it into words.
Just some of the stuff he says, I'm like, you're so childish. Just literally get over yourself.
The entire time. I remember I was listening to it in my car, and I was like, who says that?
Yeah.
I remember yelling at my stereo. I was like, why? Why is he on this page? Why is he being said right now? Like,
he's such a
why? Dick. And I was like yelling. I was like, what are you saying? What are you even saying? Like, I had to pause the audiobook at times, like, what is this child doing? Yeah, and he was acting childish. Like, he was acting like things were being done to him.
Yeah, he just played the victim so much in this. Like,
it's like, honey, no.
Yeah.
You can't play the victim after everything that's been done to everyone else but you.
And just like take some responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, like stop trying to blame everything on Aelin.
He wouldn't take responsibility for anything. Anything that happened. It's like, at least acknowledge the fact that you fucked up. Like, you messed up. It's okay to mess up. It's okay to make mistakes. But at least acknowledge it and be a man about it instead of being childish and blaming somebody who was just trying to, you know, survive to live.
Yeah. He just
irritated my soul. He irritated my freaking soul, y'all.
So many of my annotations, like me writing in this, is just like, shut up, Chaol. I hate him. He's so annoying. like the first half. A bitch again. Oh, big surprise, Chaol's being a baby.
For the first time, I must have like at least 4 or 5 annotations just calling him a straight up dick.
Yeah.
I must have said that at least 4 or 5 times. I was like, you dick. I can't. He was
just the things that he's saying, like he knew. But just like the things that he said, like he knew how that would affect her.
Yeah.
Like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he didn't.
Anyways, all right. So Manon's point of view again. It's great. The Duke makes Manon select a coven to like do these experiments on.
Yeah.
And Asterin, her second, is like, this is a bad idea. Don't do this. And Manon's like, no, obedience, brutality, discipline. Like, gotta follow the orders. And has to select this coven. Thankfully, I don't know, not thankfully, but some coven like volunteers for this, so she doesn't actually have to choose. And later we find out like these horrible experiments that are being like put on them that they're going through. But Manon and Asterin have like a bit of a falling out in this book,
Yes,
which is kind of interesting too, because like Asterin is always the one, like the fiery one, you know, she's always like sassy and stuff.
Yeah.
So to have her like be shot down by Manon so many times,
a lot.
Yeah, like it happened. She got demoted a couple times.
When she got demoted, I was like, oh,
I know.
You did not. No, you did not. Just demote my girl.
Okay, but let's just say there's another character who reacts very similarly to Kale. Who do you mean? I'm curious.
Oh, and the SJM universe.
Yeah, but who? I don't know who you mean. The first one to come to my mind that acts like Kale is Tampon.
Yes! yes.
I don't know. Like, I can't, I'm like, who else?
I mean, that's really the only person I can think of too.
That's the only one that I can think of. She's going to be so mad that... Nesta?
I mean, I can see it. Yeah, I can see that.
I disagree.
I can see it. I can see
there's a difference between the like bitchiness. Nesta is just like savagely bitchy. Kale is just a little whiny bitch.
Yeah, but like, Nesta also plays the victim a lot. Even though like
because Nesta goes for the jugular, and I can say because I am Nesta. I mean, she does. Every time I like think of Nesta, I think of that Taylor Swift lyric where it's like, and my words shoot to kill when I'm mad.
Well, damn.
Yep. Don't you put my sweet baby Nesta in the same sentence as Kale.
I agree. I can see where Cammy's coming from with Nesta, because Nesta does tend to sometimes she's playing the victim a lot within the first 3 books. Same thing. Oh, we've lost Hannah again, y'all. We've lost her again, but I can keep talking about Nesta.
Here.
She's here. Hello.
Just goes in and out.
It's fine. But I can see the whole Nesta thing, because I feel like Nesta did end up playing the victim in the first couple of books, and then even in the beginning of Akaset. But that's later on in the read-along, y'all. She's not. I wouldn't say she's sweet.
I don't think that Nesta and Kale are at least in any way comparable.
No.
I don't have like a good argument without maybe saying spoilers.
My thing is though, I did hate Nesta, so like I can see that, but I guess it just depends. I hate
at least from the second book. Anyways, we're getting ahead of ourselves because that's Elena's the sweet one. But yeah, that's the next series, so we won't go into.
Yeah, you guys will find out my thoughts on it.
We'll go into that when we get to that series.
And like maybe what? Like not even, oh my god, in like a month.
It's July. Mid-July is I think when we start that one.
Holy heck. Oh yeah, I forgot we're taking a week break between.
I understand where you're coming from, Cammy, but also no.
No, yeah, I agree with Rachel 100%. I see where she's coming from, but I don't agree.
I still like the Tamlin comparison.
I think the tampon comparison was
way better.
Way better.
Anyways, okay, so Aelin chooses to say like she's blue blood. That way Manon can kind of protect her against her like awful Uncle Vernon, who's just a big creep the whole time. I have another note of Kale being an asshole, so while we're on that topic, Page 219 is what I have written down. Oh yeah, here. I hate Kale with an angry face. Oh, this was when the king slaughtered someone. Who was it? Oh, rebels? Was it just rebels, or was it the... No, it was the rebels. The king found like a group of rebels and burned them. The rebels who were meeting in the shadow market burned them, right? He chose fire, and Aelin is like, so I suppose you blame me then? And Chaol says the king could have ordered their slaughter by any means, but he chose fire. And then Aelin, of course, takes that hit, and Aedion snarls, "You're a prick for suggesting the attack was a message for her." And then Chaol's like, "You think it's not?" It's just like, why do you have to do that? Like, why do you have to do that? You think that she's not affected by that at all?
Yeah, it's like she's already feeling it, bro. Like, you don't
She's
gotta
been through the most trauma anybody could ever go through.
Honestly,
and Chaol's like, I had to run away from my best friend.
That's
like, I don't know. I just like...
Oh, it's that, and I had to send the love of my life away. The love of my life that I despise.
He doesn't even like her now.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
I'm saying you can't condemn his actions because he says some mean things and not Nesta. Oh, I can, and I will.
Look, the only difference for me is a spoiler. So I
will say that some of the things that Nesta says, I also don't condone. But
I will say some of the things that Nesta said weren't completely false. Some of the things she said were overboard. Some of the things she said had no part being said. But at the same time, if I was talking about Nesta before Akasif, I would agree. But I am talking Nesta after Akasif, and I can't. Yeah, we all know Hannah don't give, okay?
Listen,
she hates
I have my opinions, and they are the right opinions to have. If you don't have those opinions,
I will go into
you're wrong.
Thoughts. I will go into my final thoughts about Kale at the end. Because I have some things to say.
All right. We'll go.
That's at the end though, because it happened at the end.
Easily.
Rowan can take me.
Without a doubt. I should show... Okay, Rachel, if you're still here, I'm going to show the picture that I kind of photoshopped, if I can find it, because we've been messaging. We have like a Sarah J. Maas group chat, which we send stuff. My internet's not working, so
doesn't matter.
I'll see if I can find it while we're like talking, but I get distracted really easily by things, so it's hard for me.
Anything Sarah J. Maas, distraction. I'm talking about Sarah J. Maas, y'all. I finally have 2 whole dedicated shelves to her. Look at those beauties. Look how pretty they look. I'm so excited. I have so many SJM books, and I want more. I ordered a new bookshelf.
I found it.
Oh my god, I want to see.
Okay, so this is... Hopefully you can see it. This is the art. The original art. By Dominique Wesson, who does the art for A Touch of Magic Designs, like those, I think. Oh god, what if I'm wrong about that? I'm pretty sure that this is the artist that does the like that did these dust jackets and stuff. I'm pretty sure. But anyways, Rachel sent that post to us in our and I did.
Oh my
So I'm really glad that I showed you all that, because that was Anyway. Yes, Rowan could easily.
Oh my god.
Rowan could easily take him. See, I loved her in the original series.
I did not.
So did I, Cammy.
I did not.
I'm so toxic. I love Nesta from the beginning. Same, Rachel. I did too. I was like, I like her.
My opinions on Nesta are different because, like, at least, okay, this is like getting into a whole other thing. But for me, Nesta is the bigger sister, and I'm the bigger sister. And what Nesta did as the bigger sister, I could never see myself do as the big sister. That's why I hated her so much, though, because I put myself.
Hold up. Let's save that.
Look, there's a lot going on.
There's gonna be people that are in here that are like,
y'all things are gonna go down.
We'll save it for the Court of Thorns and Roses chats.
Just wait for it, y'all.
Sarah likes him. So Sarah likes all of the characters she creates. She liked Aravin. That's not a good enough rebuttal, Cammy. Step up your game. Love the reunion. Oh yes, the reunion scene. I think
that was really sweet.
Are you talking about between Rowan and Aelin? Or the reunion between Aedion and Aelin? All the reunions.
I love both. I love
both of them.
I love everything.
We'll get to that. Yes, I know. That picture is, I should make that my background on my phone.
You should.
Love the shelves.
Oh my god, I was staring at them yesterday. My boyfriend was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm obsessed."
I know. Sometimes I just stand in here and look at my books.
They're so pretty. They're just so pretty.
I'll find your best, like, KL making out with someone, Cammy, and I'll work it, because that was gold.
It was gold. That was pure art at its finest.
Hi, I'm still reading The Assassin's Blade. Decided to start the series over. So have you read up to this point? Or is it like a reread? Because if you haven't read up to this point, I'm so sorry, but you should leave. Because I don't want to spoil anything for you because it's so amazing. Respectfully, get out.
Go away.
I'm just kidding. We love you, Tracy. I want you to stay, but I don't want you to get spoiled.
Sweetie. We don't want
you to get spoiled. So hopefully you
have spoils over here. No spoilers on this channel. It's a spoiler-free channel, y'all.
Yeah, I hate spoilers.
I despise spoilers my entire life. That's the only thing about, like, the one thing that I have been so appreciative of is the fact that every single time I saw anything Throne of Glass, I skipped so fast. The fact that I haven't been spoiled for the series, like, says a lot, because a lot of people have been spoiled for the series, and because of it, they're not going to read it. I'm just happy I wasn't spoiled, but I specifically was very adamant. If I saw something Throne of Glass, I skipped it. I didn't even look at it. I didn't acknowledge it. If I saw Throne, even if it didn't end in Throne of Glass, I just skipped it. I didn't even nope, skip.
I'm actually impressed that you didn't get spoiled too, like, because it's been out for so long to not get spoiled on anything. Mm-hmm. Hello.
Oh, doggy.
So if you hear noises, that's likely her.
She's like, I want attention.
That picture is awesome. I know.
It is.
Thank you. Thank you for validating me.
A Nobel Peace Prize.
Guess I'm toxic because I loved Nesta and Kale.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, it jumped on me. There we go. Yeah, but she didn't write a book about Aravin. She can like him as a villain. Kale is just a good guy. Does he have bad traits? Yes, so does Aelin. Aelin is perfect.
I didn't say Aelin's perfect.
She's perfect.
But I wouldn't say Kale is a good guy. But okay, look. Spoiler for me. I, at the end of this book, did not hate Kale.
Christina!
I did not. Okay, look, listen to me. I am somebody who gets very deeply attached to people, even though I don't like them. I don't know why. It makes no sense. I hated Kale in the beginning of this book, but at the end, when everything went down at the end, and I thought something happened to him, I felt so terrible for Dorian. I just didn't want Dorian to be upset.
Oh my god, that's why. Literally, everything was going down, and they're like, Kale's dead, and I'm like, okay, moving on.
I
as a friend.
Yeah, Kayla's definitely like a friend zone type.
Fair enough.
Hannah's a graphic designer.
Yeah, that was I'll never top that in my life. I might as well quit now.
Honestly.
I might leave. Yeah, if you haven't read it, we're
Yes.
talking major spoilers. So if you've left,
Once you read it, come on back. Come on back.
Cammy, you and the angel would make the most beautiful couple. Yeah, agreed. That's me when I message Hannah about CH. She's just like
Yo, honestly, the fact that if you guys have read Zodiac Academy, they are mean, bro. They are mean in Zodiac Academy, and Hannah loves all of them. Kale says one mean thing. Fuck you.
Hey, I never said that I wasn't a hypocrite. I never said I didn't have contradictory opinions. I'm like, no, Nesta is the best. Aelin is perfect. Kale can choke.
Kale can die, apparently.
I would have been upset.
Okay. Literally, Kale can die, and Hannah won't even, like, she won't even, like, go back and read it again and make sure it was, like, she was like, okay, Kale
I wouldn't shed a single tear.
Blah, 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 won't even, like, hesitate. Just be like, okay.
I'd maybe be sad by people's, like, characters' reactions if he did, like, you know.
I think that was me though, because like at a certain point I was like, you know, maybe he's not that bad.
Oh, Christina.
Look, all right, I don't know how I feel about him. It's constantly changing.
That's why I haven't been able to get my Hannah fix. I'm in the process of reading Zodiac Academy, trying not to spoil. All of my like recent vlogs where I read Zodiac Academy are spoiler free, so I don't really talk about spoilers at all in there. I did a spoilery discussion video, which is over an hour long, just talking about all spoilers. So you could watch that after you finish it, but all of my vlogs and stuff you could still watch, unless like even saying like this book is sad or something, like, you know, the ending was intense or whatever. Like if that sounds like it'd be a spoiler, then maybe don't. See, Kale is a baby. Dorian is his parabatai.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, literally, in a way.
Dorian losing Kale would have literally killed him. Yeah, I think like if Kale did actually die, Dorian's reaction to him, like to finding him dead or like his best friend dead, that probably would have got me emotional. But like Kale dead, I'd be like, anyway.
I didn't want Kale to die. I'll say that. I didn't want him to die.
I'm just being like callous. I don't actually want him to die. I just don't like him. Like, just go away. Just go away.
Yeah, no,
I don't necessarily want him to die. Like, I'm not that heartless, but like, go away. Go be
like,
annoying.
the only person that I'm okay with dying is Aravin.
Yeah.
Aravin died, I'll just flip the page.
Let's okay.
Honestly, if Aravin dies, I will celebrate and throw a party, okay? I'm like, find a freaking link, God. Like, you listen to my prayers.
Okay, so wait, Rowan. Oh, Rowan, the reunion. He comes back shortly after the note of Kale being an asshole. There is the part. Where is it? What page did I say it was? 333. Oh yeah, here it is. So the scene is a male emerged from the fog, tall, maybe taller than Aedion himself, if only by an inch, powerfully built and heavily armed, both above and beneath his pale gray surcoat and hood. Aelin took a step forward, one step, as if in a daze. She loosed a shuddering breath, and a small whimpering noise came out of her, a sob. And then she was sprinting down the alley, flying as though the winds themselves pushed at her heels. She flung herself on the male, crashing into him hard enough that anyone else might have gone rocking back into the stone wall. But the male grabbed her to him, his massive arms wrapping around her tightly and lifting her up. Nesrin made to approach, but Aedion stopped her with a hand on her arm. Aelin was laughing as she cried, and the male was just holding her, his hooded head buried in her neck, as if he were breathing her in. Who is that? Nesrin asked. Aedion smiled. Rowan. Oh, I love that part. I love that also that she like sees him and like takes a step towards him like without even thinking about it.
I love her and Rowan. Okay, I do. I love her and Rowan. I love Rowan. I love Rowan. Love Rowan. Something about Rowan. Could just be the strong arms. I have a thing for arms. But
I have a thing for arms. I know what you mean, but it just sounded funny when you said it. I have a thing for arms.
Look, all right. Just something about Rowan for some reason just like I don't know, does something to me. Yeah. But like the way he is with her is just like, oh my god, Rowan and Aelin just they get each other, you know, like they just kind of get it. They get
have
it.
So many sweet moments in this book too.
Oh my god, y'all! I was listening to this book at work, and things were happening between Rowan and Aelin. And I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, I think something gonna happen right now. What is gonna go on right now? Oh my god, it was so good.
Can't wait for the Empire Storm Sour of Dawn discussion.
I can't wait for this game to read. I'm actually gonna probably do it tonight, where I actually go and start doing my the tabs, so like I know like where I stop and where I go.
Oh yeah, I'll talk about all of the tandem read stuff at the end of this live show, so we're all on the same page. Get it?
Oh, there she goes.
I can't resist.
No.
There's a TikTok sound of that scene Hannah just read, and it makes me cry every time. I know the TikTok like audio it's just so good. Anytime that they read the scene or like they have the audiobook playing in the background and then they have music playing in the background or they do like an overlay of like different stuff, it just gets me every time. We were, like I said, we have this like Sarah J. Maas group chat basically. And I was sending like different reels, Instagram reels and stuff. And one of them literally made me weep. Like I sent a picture and a video of me just like sobbing. It's from the ACOTAR series, so I'm not gonna like bring it up or say what it was or anything. But literally, I was like,
"Send it to me."
It's like I will. It's in the group chat. Aren't you in that?
Which one?
The Sarah J. Maas one? Oh no, maybe not because you haven't finished.
I haven't finished Throne of Glass yet.
Throne of Glass, so everybody in here has.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll send it to you then. Yeah, because we do talk spoilers, so we don't want to spoil anything for you. That's probably why you're not in it. I'll send it to you. But yeah, literally, it made me cry. So like TikTok audios, especially. I know we're talking about a different series here, but the Rune Danon audio.
Do not get me started on Rune Danon, y'all. Do not get me started on Rune Danon. We cannot get me started on Rune Danon.
That audio is just. It just sends me.
It just does something, you know.
Just sent y'all a TikTok that made me cry. I can't wait to. I'll watch it after this because otherwise I'll get.
I will say, okay, look, all right. There's a certain part, okay, on 436, page 436. This is just something, I don't know why, okay, but it made me scream. It literally says, I want to take my time with you to learn every inch of you. And this apartment has very, very thin walls. I don't want to have an audience.
I love it.
And then, you know, we go into Aelin moaning and stuff. That was a whole other
thing. I have that one with. Can you see?
Yeah,
it hurts all around it.
Going, ah! It's just what's written here.
I love it. Okay. Oh, the blood oath. Aedion getting upset about Rowan taking the blood oath. But to be fair, first of all, he's Rowan.
Yeah.
Second of all, it was like the only way that they could leave there and survive against
him. Yeah. No,
like, because then it would be considered an act of war. Like, if she didn't do that, it would have been awful. So
they wouldn't have lived, I don't think, honestly.
Yeah. It was just heartbreaking because like so many times he's like, I'll do the blood oath whenever you're ready. Like, I want it to be, you know, after you've been like crowned in Orinth and stuff. And she's like, yeah.
So about that.
And just like brushes over everything too. Like,
oh my god. And then when she finally tells him, when she finally tells him, it's like, oh my god, okay, so for some reason when she tells him, it reminded me of a certain scene from Friends. I don't know if you guys have ever watched Friends, but I'm gonna spoil something for you, so if you haven't, cover your ears. Obviously I think everybody knows Monica ends up with Chandler. When they tell Joey, and then Joey goes, in London, that's where I imagine him being like, Rowan? The exact same way Joey said in London, all right? For some reason, that's what came into my head. But like he was just, you can genuinely like tell that he was just so upset. Like he finally gets his cousin back.
And he was like so excited about it too. He's like, this is my right.
He was so like pure too. Like he was just so pure about it. Like, and I was like, oh baby, you just don't know. It's okay. Oh, my poor Aedion.
Let's see. Oh, lots of things. So let's just like rapid fire them out here. Lorcan is in Otterland. He's hunting them. Aelin kind of sets her trap for Lorcan and like makes him have to fight these word hounds and stuff. And he's like, you vicious little bitch. Yeah. I love it. Aedion is Gavriel's son, one of Rowan's friends.
Yeah, that was wild.
Also, like, can we talk about the fact that Rowan is just like spilling everybody's secrets left and right in this one? He's like, look at him. He's Gavriel's son, like one of the most powerful Fae warriors. Like, oh, you guys didn't know that? Weird.
Oh, really?
And then Lysandra comes on and he's like, all right, shapeshifter. And she's like, I have never told a single soul that. And he's like, oh.
First, when he said shapeshifter, okay, we're going to talk about that now. When he said shapeshifter, I was like, whoa. What do you mean shapeshifter?
It's like, I've got the tea.
Yeah, all the tea, and he spilled it everywhere, y'all.
Rowan is Gossip Girl.
When we found out that Lysandra was a shapeshifter, I was like, oh, what? I was shook when I heard that, because I was like, I didn't expect that, one. And two, it just, I don't know. It added something, it just added something. And then I started to really like her. So it helped.
Yeah. I think that is like a really cool power to have.
Oh my God, it's awesome.
Rowan and the Surrey besties. Just you can imagine them like at tea. Like, what's the 411?
Oh, the cereal! Stop it!
It made me really like Rowan more. Yeah, definitely. Because I know like Heir of Fire, he starts out like in a bad place, so he's very much an asshole. Yeah. Like he definitely is. But this
I didn't think that, to be honest. I fell in love with Rowan since like page 1. Like the minute I heard his name, look, it is on Hannah's channel forever and always. It's either on Hannah's channel or my channel. I forgot. Wherever the heck we read Heir of Fire.
One of our, yeah.
The reading sense where we read.
I think it was yours. I think it was your channel.
Mm-hmm. The reading sense where we read Heir of Fire. The minute I read Rowan's name, I was like, I was like, who is this?
Why it was great.
Oh my God, it was so funny. I was like, oh my God.
It was great.
He had his moments where I was like, okay, stop being a dick.
Yeah.
But he got out of it. He figured his way out. So I love him right now. And he's funny as hell. Okay, I don't care what you say.
I witnessed Christina seeing his name for the first time. She had like literally was like,
I had like an out-of-body reaction. I was like,
so it was great.
It's definitely somewhere on the friggin' internet.
Yeah, it's because I went back after you video chatted all of us and we're like, I just met Rowan. And so you're like, and my reaction is on the internet forever. So I'm like, let me go watch that real quick.
It was
so cute.
Fun. It was so fun. I love
that. Okay. Kaltane, her shadow fire we learn about. And like her testing on that one guy. And like I just feel so bad for Kaltane because she's like so numb to everything at that point, and they just treat her so poorly.
She doesn't really.
But also, like, did you see that coming? That she was going to have like a magic power? I didn't.
Nope. I thought she was just gonna be like a side character, like just like said and done.
Like someone to move the plot forward in the first book.
Yeah. But I didn't realize that she was gonna actually have an impact on the plot. And I was like, whoa, well,
yeah. We also have this really cute scene of Aelin playing the piano for Rowan.
Yes.
Oh, that part is so cute.
It's one of my favorite scenes. I don't know what it is. But for some reason when Aelin really starts talking about how much she just loves music, it like just moves me for some reason.
Yeah.
It's like just it's so beautiful. And
Yeah.
then she plays like no one's watching, and
I know, and I love that she plays it, and she plays the song. I can't remember what the song is called. But it's like the song that made her cry in like the first book or in Assassin's Blade. I can't remember which one. I think it's Assassin's Blade.
I think it was Assassin's Blade because is that when she went with
yeah.
When she went with Aravin?
With Aravin and Sam and Lysandra, yeah. And so she like plays that whole thing on the piano, and she looked up and Rowan's eyes were lined with silver, his throat bobbing. Somehow, after all this time, her warrior prince still managed to surprise her. He seemed to struggle for words, but finally he breathed, Show me how you did that." Like just picturing like this big like macho like Fae warrior, like one of the most powerful men in existence, and he's like brought to tears by piano music like that. Just
I can't. I love him.
I love it.
I love Rowan. I don't know how many times I've said that, but like, take a shot for every time I say I love Rowan because you'll be drunk in about 10 minutes.
Oh, Aelin visiting Sam's grave.
Stop it. I cried when she did that. I cried my eyes out, okay? I don't even know if I was able to annotate it. Did I annotate this?
I did. Because it's like, so she goes and sees the grave and it says Sam Cortland, beloved. And of course, Aravin, being the little dick that he is, left it blank. But Wesley was the one who wrote Sam Cortland, beloved. And just like the part, I'm gonna cry right now, where she leans against the like against his tombstone and just says, "Hello, Sam." She breathed onto the river breeze. Like,
no, stop it. This part right here. Okay, the passage. It starts with "I miss you." I cried. Oh my god, I cried.
Oh my god, read it, Christina.
I can't. I'm gonna cry.
Read it. I'm gonna cry.
I miss you, she said. Every day I miss you, and I wonder what you would have made of all of us. Made of me. I think you would have been a wonderful king. I think they would have liked you more than me, actually. Her throat tightened. I never told you how I felt, but I loved you, and I think a part of me might always love you. Maybe you were my mate, and I never knew it. That part got me, guys. That part got me. Maybe I'll spend the rest of my life wondering about that. Maybe I'll see you again in the afterworld, and then I'll know for sure. But until then, I'll miss you, and I'll wish you were here.
Just that part where she's like, I think you would have made a wonderful king. Because, like, he loved her without knowing anything. Like, he loved the worst parts of her.
I can't. That part got me. Yo, when I read it for the first time, when I read this for the first time, I think I went back and reread it like 4 more times after that. And I was just sitting on my couch, rereading the same passage over and over again, just sobbing. Like, guys, I was crying, y'all. I was like real life crying. Because like I can't even imagine. Like, look, just thinking about losing the love of my life kills me. The fact that it's just, oh my god, like, oh, my heart, y'all, my heart. That spoke to my heart. I was like, oh no. My boyfriend wasn't home either, so I was like, oh no.
It's so heartbreaking. Every single time he's mentioned, I'm like, dear.
And then I remember this day because Papa came home and he was on the couch and I was like, can I get a hug? He was like, why? Are you okay? I'm like, I'm just sad. He was like, why? I was like, I'm just sad. He's like, did I do something? I was like, no, just shut up. I just started like, I didn't cry. Like, I don't know. I like just needed to hold him. Like I just needed to make sure he was there, you know? I don't know.
Yeah. Something usually weird. If I do that to Brandon, he just knows it's because of a book. He's like, something happened in your book. One time I was sad about like something unrelated and I was crying about like not something book related. And he was like, did something happen in your book? And I was like, no. I mean, that's a good guess because usually it's yes.
9% of the time, yes. So, for me, it depends. Sometimes I'm like very upset about a book, but like he knows when I'm reading. So like sometimes if he comes home and he sees me reading and I'll start crying, then he knows.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a time. He was like, "Are you okay?" And he was like, "Are you on your period?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I was on my period. I was like, "Yeah," and what does that have anything to do with anything?
All right. Elid. Why did I say it like that? Elid.
What?
Elid.
I was like,
I've never said it like that. I was like, why did I read it like that? Aelin finds out what the Duke's experiment on the witches were. And they're like being implanted with the stone and like being forced to give birth to these creatures. I don't know what they are. But when Aelin tells them, like tells Manon and Astrid and Sorrel, Astrid just like freaks out and is like, "You let them do this. This is an abomination. Like you let them do this." And then of course Manon is like, "You're not supposed to talk to me that way, so I gotta like save face here and act all tough again." But literally the whole time, like, because we're in Manon's head, you can tell like she's affected by this as well.
Yeah.
And then we're not quite there yet, but we can still talk about it because it's sort of related, because the reason why Astrid is getting so upset about this is because of what happened to her in her past and how she lost a witchling, and Manon's grandmother like marked her abdomen saying unclean because she ended up falling in love with this like human like hunter guy in the woods, and that's how she got pregnant, and then she lost the witchling, and it was just like so heartbreaking to hear her story. And this whole time Manon is hearing this like, what is the point of me following my grandmother, because she's just literally horrible.
Just terrible, man. Like honestly terrible.
Yeah.
I found the page on page 333 where it's like, "They're not witchlings, they're not babies." Leans back, covering her face with her hands as if to rip her eyes out. They're creatures, they are demons. Their skin is like black diamond, and they have these snouts with teeth, fangs. Already they have fangs, and not like yours, slurred her hands. They have teeth of black stone. This is nothing of you in them.
Yeah.
Like it is purely terrifying.
Yeah. Like monsters.
Yeah, like just ew.
Yeah. We also get shortly thereafter, we get the dinner with Aravin at the Assassin's Keep. So that all starts on page 342. But earlier, when we were in Aelin's point of view, she got sent a gift, and it was skin oil that Aravin like was like, "Hopefully you'll wear this tonight." And she had to like rub like his scent, this almond scent, all over her skin, like knowing how violating that would feel, almost like, because he just like has this need to like own her.
Yeah.
And the part where she goes in, I have it tapped. Because of course, like she puts it on and she's like, "I'm fine. Like I know I need to do this. It'll all be over soon." And she still like wears it. But then Rowan also is like, "Thanks for the oil. My skin was dry."
Oh my God.
And like Aravin doesn't know what to say to that. Oh my god, it was so funny. Because Aravin's like, I don't know, blah blah blah. And Rowan's like, "You can call me Rowan. That's all you need to know." He cocked his head to the side, a predator assessing prey. "Thank you for the oil," he added. "My skin was a little dry." Aravin blinked, as much surprise as he'd show. My note there is, "Haha, bitch." Oh, and then there was, sorry, what?
Nothing. He sneezed.
There is they have those like silent conversations with each other like throughout the whole thing, like Rowan and Aelin.
So
And
cute.
I just love it. But of course then Aravin like was making Aelin trap this Valg, like because he wanted to, I don't know, get answers, find stuff out, whatever. Yeah. And makes pick of all the rooms in the Assassin's Keep. It's like this giant manor house. he chooses the exact same room that Sam's body was brought to in the Assassin's Blade. Like, he's just so sadistic. And then of course they question this like Valg, and he gets the word ring off of him, and he's getting pissed all dinner because Aelin and Rowan are Aelin's like not letting anything affect her, and every little like slight that Rowan or Aravin is trying to like land on her, she's just like ignores him and is like flirting with Rowan the whole time. And then he tries to like control her. Like he puts the ring on her and like drinks her blood or whatever because he thinks that that's how he can control her. And what did he say? Like he makes her say like I love you, and he's like, say my name when you tell me you love me. And so she has to say like I love you, Aravin Hamel, and like he touches her butt and stuff, and it's just like, you're sick. You're a sick fuck.
Sadistic.
Oh, I just said sick fuck, and that was my note right there. Yeah, he's super sadistic. But she does get the third word key back that was in her family's amulet.
Yes.
Which is insane that it was there the whole time. But yeah, so now she has that. Yeah, all of that. Oh, then we get to the part when they get back to their apartment. Where is it? Oh, and they're on the roof, and Aelin like tries to kiss him or something, and he like shuts her down. What is it? I have it right here. So she slid her fingers down the side of his tattooed cheek. Faster than she could see, he grabbed one wrist and then the other, yanking them away from his face and snarling softly. And then eventually he says, don't do that. Don't touch me like that. And then, of course, she's like super embarrassed, and she's like, okay, have I been reading this all wrong? And yeah, so then he like rejects her basically, and Aedion's like, anybody with eyes can see that he's in love with her. Yeah. Why did he do that? Which it eventually gets explained that like she is touching like the tattoo on the side of his face, and that tattoo is like telling the story of Lyria, his mate that got killed. So that's like that like triggered something in him. And then literally right after that, Lysandra kills Aravin.
Yes, I love this shit.
I mean, I like it because he's dead now, but I wish that he could have gone out like with more of a bang. Like she just like rolled over in her sleep, slit his throat, he choked on his own blood. Like
that was it.
A bad way to go, but there's
worse ways.
Yeah, I really wanted him to get like
tortured for about a week.
I wanted Aelin and Lysandra to be like, bitch, we were working together the whole time. Like I really wanted that whole thing, but
I was happy that at least Lysandra got to kill him.
Yeah.
And at least that was a nice moment. She is. That she is.
I love the fact too that she like had to roll back over and fall asleep. Like she slits his throat.
And she did.
Blood everywhere, and then she has to like wake up in the morning and like find him dead, like covered in his blood. And I'm just like picturing her laying in bed like good morning yet, because I'm drenched in blood
and I want to shower.
Yeah, and then we get the whole like Aelin pretending to be Selena again, and her whole plan coming together again, that she switched the will and got all of Aravin's money.
No, that was.
Oh.
There's no birth control pill.
I just like the whole plan reveal because everything like it's been hinted at throughout the beginning of the book. Like she's going out at night, and you know she stopped at a jeweler or whatever, and like all this stuff, and it all came together as her like mastermind plan.
Freaking brilliant.
Yeah, she's a genius. I wrote that several times in here that she's just a genius.
Yeah, it was freaking brilliant.
I also love the part where like the other assassins in the guild are like, you know, so pissed at her. They're like, "What? Like, we want to keep the house," and she's like, "Get off my property."
Yes.
I'll sell it to you for what it's worth. And he's like, "You're the worst."
She's like, "Get away." Oh my god, it was so great. I loved her in that moment. I was like, yes, get everything you deserve and more, please.
I also
good. Oh, hold on. She'll be back. Hannah will be back.
Am I back?
There you are.
Okay. It's on page 388 where Aelin like looks at Aravin's body just to like make sure he's dead or whatever, and it says Lysandra had mangled him. My note next to it says, "This makes me happy." And then I underline where she's like peering down at his dead face, and she says, "I hope the dark god finds a special place for you in his realm." And then it talks about how she lifted her father's sword and severed Aravin's head from his body, and I put a happy face.
Oh my god.
I'm just glad he's dead. I hate him so much. Oh, I don't even have this like written in my notes, but I just flipped past it. This quote right here on page 399, where
Oh, Hannah. At least she looks so cute when she freezes. At the very least. Let's see if we can try to find where Hannah wants to talk about.
I'm back.
Oh, there she is.
So let's keep a tally. Take a shot every time my internet goes out and I freeze. It's got to be like 5 by now.
Are you having a thunderstorm near you? Because we had a really big one.
No, nothing. It's just like a bright, sunny evening.
Yeah, we had a really bad thunderstorm.
Cuts in and out. Anyways, what was I talking about?
$3.99.
Oh, I don't have this like written down in my notes, but I just saw that I have it circled here, where Rowan says his fire heart shut in the dark. I just love that nickname.
Yeah. I love Fireheart. I think it's freaking every single time he calls her Fireheart, I'm like, oh.
Every single time.
Blacks out. You will black out.
Honestly, though, it happens at least once when I go live.
Usually, yeah. At least
this, I feel like tonight it's happened more often.
Yeah.
Like we've been live for an hour and I've cut out 5 times. So.
Yeah. Today I think might be the world record for you.
Yeah. I apologize. I'm sorry. I can't do anything about it. Okay. We talked about Aelin's plan. Oh, page 414. We get the big reveal of what happened 1,000 years ago, and that Erewhon was never actually defeated. He was only contained. So like when Elena was doing it, you know, Elena and Gavin, were trying to like fight him. They never actually like killed him. They only contained him in the tomb, and somehow he's been released on the world, and that's like what they're dealing with now. So we got all that information. My one note here is just Rowan and Aelin love each other. No page, no context. It's just facts.
It's true.
I don't know where that's from, but
it is in all the pages. You read between the lines. It's all there.
Maybe it's on page 427 when they do the to whatever end again.
Yes.
Oh, there's this part too on page 429. where Lorcan has Aelin like with a knife to her throat, and Rowan is completely frozen, like he can't do anything or she'll die. And Lorcan is like taunting him and says, "No words, Prince." And he says, "Why?" was all Rowan could ask. Every action, every possible plan still left him too far away. He wondered whether Lorcan realized that if he killed her, Lorcan himself would be next, then Maeve, and then maybe the world for spite. And I just wrote, he loves her. Like,
I can't.
I can't. He's so cute. Like, he's like, I'll just destroy everything.
Destroy everything in my power.
I love it. Oh, and then the quote that you read on page 436 of "I want to take my time with you, but these walls are very thin." That quote. Rowan and Aelin love each other. There we go.
My heart was doing that pitter-patter thing.
Then we have another intense scene where Lysandra is captured for being a shapeshifter. Aravin betrayed her and outed her for having magic. And then we have her like big rescue. And so much goes down there. So first of all, the scene on page 446 where they tell Aelin that Lysandra was captured, and obviously her and Lysandra have become really good friends. And Aelin says, "You have to get her out right now." And she like begs, "Please," her voice breaking on the word. And then Kale noticed then where her eyes had focused on his face. He paled, his mouth opening, because she was obviously thinking of Nehemia. And like, she can't lose another friend. She's lost Sam. She's lost Nehemia. She can't lose another friend. So Lysandra is like, she needs to save Lysandra. And so Kale's like, never again. She says, "I can't bury another friend." Oh, then we get Dorian and Manon's first interaction with each other with the iconic "Hello, Princeling, hello, Witchling" quote. Oh, I just love it. Where is it?
I didn't actually know that was a quote.
Oh, yeah, on page 462. She walks over to him and she says, "Hello, Princeling," she said, her voice bedroom soft and full of glorious death. "Hello, Witchling," he said, and the words were his own. So, like, it's actually Dorian peeking.
Yeah, that's Dorian talking.
Yep. And then, like, the demon inside him is, like, cowering away from her, and he's like, "Don't speak to it. Don't get any closer to it." Also, the quote, "This witch had been crafted from the darkness between stars." That's the quote on my notebook.
That's cute.
Where were we? Yeah, so Dorian being able to take control of his body again because Manon is near. I just love that because we love it when Dorian can take control of his own body again.
Oh, yeah. I feel though Dorian was fighting the entire time with his demon.
Yeah.
He was not going to let that demon take over no matter what.
Yeah. And then we get the face-off between Manon and Aelin because they save Lysandra, and then they're trying, like, Kale does this, like, "I'm going to go kill Dorian now because Aelin was right the whole time. Go figure." Even though she's actually wrong, to be fair. And then Rowan ends up getting shot in the shoulder. And then Aelin has to save Manon because they were both about to die there. And she's like, "You're too good a fighter to kill." So then Manon, like, owes Aelin a life debt, which comes back. I don't know where it is. I have my note, but she says, like, she makes the note of, like, which killer the human is still inside him to let her know about Dorian. Oh, there's the quote on page 527 where Aelin says, "You make me want to live, Rowan, not survive, not exist, live." I just love that quote so much.
Yeah, that was really sweet.
And it comes back to because he's like, "You make me want to live as well." And then, there's a "Rattle the Stars" quote again on page 532. "Let's go rattle the stars," which just is like a reoccurring thing. When Aelin and Manon interacted, it felt like a crossover. That meeting was so cool. I know, honestly, because it's like you see their points of view separate for so long that when they finally meet, you're like, "Oh,
It's like, whoa.
Yeah, I love that. A lead gets taken by Vernon, and Manon finds out and ends up slaughtering anyone in her way to get to a lead, because obviously she cares for a lead and she's like trying to fight it, that she has a heart, but this whole time you're like, girl, it's okay, you can care about other people.
Yeah.
And then that's the whole scene where what's her name, Caltaine,
Yes.
comes to help save her, and then gives her the one word key, and then the cloak that Selena gave her in Crown of Midnight, and says, like, you need to find Selena Sardothian and give this to her. And then Elite is like, okay, first I need to find Selena Sardothian and give her this, and then I have to go find Queen Aelin Galathinius. And it's like, she doesn't know yet. But they're the same.
They are one.
But yeah, then Caltaine uses her shadow fire and just like annihilates like half of
Yeah.
Maas, which is like really powerful, but like also sad. But I just really like that part. I really like Caltaine. Also, the plan to free magic.
Yes.
They learn about the towers, and they knock the towers down, try to knock the towers down so that they can free magic. Aelin ends up going in by the king and pretends to have captured Chaol. And at the same time, Rowan and Aedion are underneath the castle with like the hellfire that they found, trying to blow up the one tower. And they get attacked by wordhounds. Lysandra comes and turns into a ghost leopard. And then Lorcan, of course, is like, I didn't want you guys to actually die, so I'm going to help.
Yeah.
And then the big fight between Aelin and Dorian, because he's still like overtaken by the Valg Prince. Yeah. The king attacks Chaol, and Aelin and Dorian have their moment on like this giant like glass bridge. And then finally magic is free, so Aelin can use her fire. And then the king reveals that he was like sort of a good guy the whole time, where he was like trying to protect Dorian the whole time.
He's like, my boy, my boy.
Yeah. And then Dorian finds out that, well, thinks that Chaol is dead. So he like just obliterates everything, almost kills him and Aelin, if not for Rowan stopping them from falling. And then the king's dead, but we find out that like the big baddie is actually the Duke this whole time.
Mean person.
And it's Erewhon is like the one who overtook him. Oh, the quote too, when magic gets free, is just so beautiful. I just love Sarah's writing. And then a great wind, a soft wind, a lovely wind, as if the heart song of the world were carried on it. I love that.
God. Goodness.
And then at the very end, Dorian, Aelin tells the whole Rifthold, like, Dorian's your king now. He's going to be in mourning. Don't mess with anything.
Yeah. Or else she will literally burn you to death.
Yep.
Then she's like, all the slaves are free, so do not try to sell them. Do not try to bid them off. Nothing. If she catches you, she is burning you alive.
Yep. And then Aelin giving her gift to Lysandra and making her lady, like a lady in Terrasen. Yeah. And Lysandra's like, people are not going to like that. And Aelin's like I care.
And then she's like thinking of what's it called? Like court names. She's like, I don't know, like what the heck did she say?
Lysandraland.
And Lysandraland, Lysandria, and I was like, well, that was so nice, but Lysandraland needs some work.
Yeah. Like, oh my God. Yeah, that part's funny.
It was so cute.
Let me see if I can find it.
It's toward the end.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the page number written
Yeah,
down, so I don't know. And then the very end, right? The very, very end is them returning to Terracin. And it's the first time in the whole series that Aelin has been able to go home. And on the very last page, Aedion touched her shoulder. Welcome home, Aelin. A land of towering mountains, the staghorns, spread before them, with valleys and rivers and hills. A land of untamed wild beauty, Terracin. And the smell of pine and snow. How had she never realized that Rowan's scent was of Terracin, of home? And then Aedion's like, right when you pass that rock, we're on Terracin soil. And then she ran her hand over the rough rock, and the sun-warmed stone tingled as if in greeting. Then she stepped beyond the stone, and at long last, Aelin Ash River Galathinius was home. Like, what a way to end that. Like,
it was so good.
I also made a note here that Sarah's writing is just so beautiful and incredible. The last 50 pages gave me goosebumps and made me want to cry. I love these characters in this story so freaking much. But literally, like, every page, I'm like, this writing is phenomenal. There is nothing like it.
Like, I don't care what you say. You have to respect the fact that Sarah J. Maas can write, bro. Like she can write.
It's just so beautiful.
Like, I don't know. When I was listening to it, and then she was like, how could she not realize that Rowan smelled like home the whole time? Yeah. And I was like,
the pine and snow. I know. Every single time she brings up, like in the earlier books, every single time she brings up Terracin, she brings up that it smelled like pine and snow. And then when we meet Rowan, she brings up that he smelled like pine and snow. And maybe you would make the comparison.
I didn't.
Like, if you hear it enough, but like, it's so subtle.
Yeah, it is.
Like, until it's like put together right there, where the smell of pine and snow. How had she never realized that Rowan's scent was of Terracin, of home? And it's just like,
wow,
I could cry. The fact that pine and snow is foreshadowing the assassin and the pirate lord. Yeah, honestly, like, that's why these things, like, that's part of why this series is my favorite series of all time, is just the foreshadowing, the planning that was put into this, the stuff that comes back from the first book all the way to the later books in the series, and how important it is.
That's wild to me.
And how
she
like
does that.
Yes, and like how it's not just like, it's like so brief in that book that you're like,
so big.
You don't think of it, and then it becomes like this really important detail. I just love it so much.
I loved it.
I did not at all when I first read it. I can't remember if I did or not.
I definitely didn't.
I think that I didn't until it was like mentioned, like Rowan and Terracin, Pine and Snow, and I was like, oh, she did that. She really did that.
Of course she did.
Yeah. And that's like, if you did catch that, imagine what your first thoughts would be when you meet Rowan, and like instantly she's like drunk on the rooftops of this like Wendlin home, and she meets this like fey prince that smells of pine and snow. If you remembered that Terracin smelled of pine and snow, like, what would your initial thoughts be like? I don't know. I don't think that I put that together when I first read it, but it's been so long ago that I can't remember, but I don't think I did. But yeah, this book is just, so much happens in it, and like so many amazing scenes. It's just so much fun to read, and the writing is just
impeccable,
unmatched. Honestly, it's just unmatched. Was there anything else that you wanted to discuss? I've covered everything.
Yeah, you covered every damn thing.
If there was anything extra that you wanted to add, but I like to go into detail.
No, I think you did it all.
Okay. Then we will kind of wrap this up. So the next books that we're reading are Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn, the tandem read. So we are reading them at the exact same time. There is a link in the description that just says the Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn tandem read. So it's a link to a blog post that someone very nice put together, not me, but someone else, and tells you what chapters to read from each book and when, like Empire of Storms, chapters 1 through 5, Tower of Dawn's chapters 1 and 2, or whatever it is. I don't know. So if you want to follow along with that, that's how we'll be reading the next books. And then we're going to split it in half. So we'll read half of Empire of Storms and half of Tower of Dawn, and then do a live show on the first half of those books. And then we'll do another one on the finales of them. If that, does that make sense? Okay. Yes. I didn't want to make it too confusing.
Yes, it makes sense.
So the first half, like the pages or chapters that we'll read to, is you'll see it in the tandem read, but I'll make sure to put it out there so you don't forget. But we're going to read through Empire of Storms chapter 32 and Tower of Dawn chapter 35. So that should match up in the tandem read like thing. So again, it's Empire of Storms chapter 32 and Tower of Dawn chapter 35. I will put that in the Discord so we don't forget, and I will leave it in the description. I don't think I have it in there right now, but I will do that so that we know where we're all at. And then we'll do the half and half live show discussion. And then reading sprints, the next ones will be on Christina's channel. So make sure you are subscribed to her and follow both of us on Instagram too, because we post a lot on there. And don't forget to follow our Discord because it's been really fun to kind of chat things. And we can block out spoilers on there too. So if you're worried about seeing spoilers, we block them out so that you have to click on them. So yeah, can't wait to talk about Empire and Tower. Yeah, I know. I'm really excited. I'm hopefully being halfway through both books isn't going to be too confusing, but it just seemed like if we did a live show after the tandem read, like talking about 2 full 600 plus page books just seemed like a lot.
We haven't done a single live show under an hour talking about a single book, y'all. So imagine having to talk about 2. We would have been here for
like 3 hours.
Yeah, it would have been a very long thing. We definitely would have missed something. So
yeah. Excellent. Means can't wait for the next one. Thank you for joining us, Rachel. I hope you're enjoying your Throne of Glass reread. I know you're not quite where we are, but it's still fun to have you here, even though you're not like at it, you know? You know what I mean? Okay. So thank you all so very much for joining us today. And I hope that you will join us on the reading sprints on Christina's channel. And we will see you next time.